Don't forget, guys, okay? He started off joking about making Canada the 51st state.
It was Justin Trudeau's fault.
I think Trump did us a favor.
Canada becoming the 51st state of America. What's up, YouTube? My name is Happiness and welcome to my channel. We're gonna discuss Canada becoming the 51st state. It seems like for most Canadians, when you reach to talk about this topic, it comes as a sensitive issue because to them, they believe that they are an independent country. You see, so the reason why I'll say that Canada is the 51st state is because it has its own governor like most of the states of America, and also it has its own basketball team too, which is the Toronto Raptors, which is from Toronto. So I compiled some videos to see what people's opinion about them becoming Canada becoming the 51st state of America. Let's watch these videos to see their opinions.
Don't forget, guys, okay? He started off joking about making Canada the 51st state. Then he started making up reasons on which he should make Canada the 51st state. Then he started making things up like the fentanyl crisis. Then he started saying that he needs to make tariffs. Then he said he needed to economically destroy us, and once he does that, we will be asking them to absorb us. As soon as we started fighting back and saying that's never going to happen, we'd rather be destroyed economically, they stopped saying we're not considering military action against Canada. Then they started coming up with reasons that they legitimately think Canada should be the 51st state. They started trying to say that we can't even win at our own games, and then we beat them, so they stopped saying that. They continued with the thought process that Canada should just be economically destroyed. Now they're saying that they should be redrawing the borders. Watch the steady escalation, the quick and steady escalation. Canadians always saw this was coming. When Kat was saying Americans don't know, this escalation is exactly what she was talking about. I'm making espresso. And remember that all the people that said that she was ridiculous for this stuff didn't even expect things to get this far, okay? We're not even 2 months in. Canada is in danger. Our Arctic is in danger. Actually, I think that they started suggesting redrawing the borders after Canada made a petition to revoke Elon Musk's citizenship, which in itself should also be a lot more scary. If they try to invade, it's probably going to be through Quebec or through Alberta. It's a bit smaller, but there's also a chance they'll try to come through Vancouver. Just remember, as things escalated, Canada knew this was going to happen. Ukraine was trying to say that this is what's going to happen in Canada. Only the people inside of the states were saying that this isn't going to happen.
I know Canadians don't want to become the 51st state because Trump keeps talking about it, but the truth is it was Justin Trudeau's fault. When Justin Trudeau talked to Trump in Florida, Trump was like, why should we subsidize $200 billion for your trade? And then Justin Trudeau was like, if you don't do that, we will collapse. And then Trump had the idea, well, okay, if you cannot sustain yourself, why not become the 51st state? That's why he keeps calling Justin Trudeau the 51st state governor. In other words, Donald Trump did not come up with this idea. It was Justin Trudeau's fault because he said, hey, without that trade deal, we can't survive. And that's all Justin Trudeau's fault because he destroyed Canada. He ended that pipeline. We're not self-sufficient right now. Not to mention, we don't have interprovincial trade either, which is pretty bad. What the heck what's wrong with these stupid politicians, honestly? Canada could have been one of the most richest countries in the world, but because of Justin Trudeau and these corrupt politicians basically put Canada to the ground. And Donald Trump is just like, he's a businessman. He's like, hey, you guys are suffering. You guys suck right now. I'll buy you guys the 51st state. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. What do you all think about this? By the way, if you're Canadian, if you want to learn how you can beat inflation, where you can pull in over 60 to 200% a year on your investment, there's a website on top of my page, or Comment 2025. This is exactly what I've been doing for the last few years now that completely funds my lifestyle. And that's just one income stream. I have several income streams. I want to start you off with the easiest one because all you do is you put your funds in this thing 60 to 200% a year. You're going to beat inflation. Comment 2025 or check out the website on top of my page.
I think Trump did us a favor. It united French, natives, and English. I'm 10th generation Canadian on my mom's side and 7th generation on my dad's side. I would have to be native to be more Canadian. I just want to say you've hit the nail on the head. I'm not political, but I will say, as a Canadian, a proud Canadian, I truly believe we are more united than I think I have been in my whole 36 years living in this country. So, thank you.
You know, the talk about turning Canada into a 51st state.
That's a little crazy.
It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
He's serious. He told me on the phone he was serious.
Yeah. Well,
at first I was joking around, but then I was thinking maybe it's not a bad idea. Now I think he keeps talking to him. It refers to him as Governor Trudeau. It's so funny. It's just they're too nice and they let communists run their country.
Yeah.
And that guy's a communist.
So it's true. Thank you, Brian. It's true. A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security. You know, they don't pay very much for security right now because they rely on us, which is really unfair to us. They make cars that we could make, and they send them back into the United States. They make a lot of things, including the sending of oil and everything. We don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. In fact,
when Mr. Trump started talking about Canada being a 51st state, your government's original response was to say that it was a joke. Now you're saying that this is a real thing. Can you take us into your mindset? What was the moment that made you switch from thinking it's a joke to a real thing?
I don't think there's a switch. I think, as I've said unequivocally from the beginning, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will ever be the 51st state. At the same time, from having worked with President Trump for over 8 years now, I can tell you that we have to take seriously what he says and make sure we're responding appropriately. And quite frankly, the response of Canadians over these past weeks has been inspiring, as people have been there for each other, people have been changing their vacation plans, people have been looking at ways to buy Canadian, to support local businesses, to diversify their supply chains to places like Europe and Asia. This is a response of Canadians who are saying, yeah, this is going to be tough, but we're going to double down on Canadian pride and standing up for each other.
And well, listen, it's as easy as this. Canada hasn't produced any talent since Wayne Gretzky a million years ago. First of all, no one in Canada can afford to put their kids in hockey. As most of you guys know, I used to play in Calgary, so I know all about Justin Trudeau's little carbon tax scandals and the tax on tax that's already fucking taxed. We will win against Canada, and after they will become the 51st state.
Let me be clear. We will never be the 51st state. We will bear any burden and pay any price to protect the sovereignty and independence of our country.
We are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Donald Trump made good on that promise, and Google Maps reflects it, at least for U.S. users. But this weekend, social media was abuzz, with Canadians wondering if something similar had happened here. Asking in over 1,000 Google help questions, plus hundreds of Reddit, Facebook, and Threads comments, why is Google Maps now categorizing many provincial parks as state parks?
So I thought, well, how can this possibly be true?
Kiki Grabowski wrote to Google and BC Parks to register her concerns.
Well, that's our sovereignty. That's our country. Those parks belong to Canada. They are not state parks.
She's not alone. Many were asking if the Trump administration had something to do with it. Others began submitting complaints about the error for specific parks. CBC watched as one park's category changed from state park to park several times. All right. So why did Google change provincial parks into state parks? Well, the company says they actually didn't, although changes will come. A spokesperson told CBC the vast majority of these parks have had their existing labels for several years. We're actively working to update labels for parks in Canada to avoid confusion. One expert on Canadian English argues this speaks to the influence of American tech companies.
American programmer assumes it's the same here, and so we'll categorize it as state, or why should I, it's an extra step to relabel that category. So things that can be overlooked. So there you have to be a bit more generous.
He and a geography professor agree the thing to do is complain. It's not clear what exactly will come of Canadians' complaints, but make no mistake, they are passionate about the state of provincial parks.
Okay, guys, we have heard what most Canadians have to say about what Trump wants to do in terms of Canada. We heard their opinions, and also I'd like to say thanks to Donovan 1014 for also including a link of the video that I also played last about what Canadians, because he's a Canadian and he also believes that, Canada will never be the 51st state of America. But despite that, thank you for watching the videos. Please like and subscribe, and let's meet up to the next one. Peace out.